May I ask how old you are?
I'm 88.
And still working?
Yes, I have to.
Why do you have to keep working?
Retired from General Motors in 99. 2012, I went bankrupt and they took my pension away from me.
Stories like Ed's are becoming more common every day. And this raises the big question: can the average American actually afford to retire anymore? That's why I made this video, so we can face the retirement crisis head on, figure out why it's getting so hard to retire, and make retirement actually possible. Here's the stat that puts it all in perspective. 54% of American households have $0 saved for retirement. Zero. And even when you look at people who have saved something, the numbers don't add up. The median American has $87,000 in their retirement accounts, but most experts say they'll need over $1.2 million to retire comfortably. That's a gap of over $1 million. And it gets worse when you break it down by age. According to the Federal Reserve, by age 30, the average saver has roughly $45,000 set aside. By 40, it's $95,000. By 50, $160,000, and by 60, just $200,000. Even more concerning, older generations have far more saved at the same ages, meaning today's workers are on track to retire with less. And remember, this is just the people who have saved something. 54% have nothing at all. This isn't a young person problem or a bad savers problem, because whether you're in your 30s, 50s, or hitting retirement age right now, a lot of us are massively behind. What's really interesting is that this isn't some secret. Most Americans already know they're not ready to retire. In fact, only 35% of Americans actually feel like they're on track to retire at all. So we're all kind of in this weird spot where we know we're in trouble, but don't really know what to do about it. I mean, we're trying to deal with saving enough for a house and dealing with everything being so expensive. So retirement just isn't a primary concern right now. But what's clear is that the current path to retirement is breaking. So let's look at what caused it in the first place. First, we have healthcare. Most people massively underestimate how expensive healthcare is in retirement. Most assume they'll spend a few hundred a month on healthcare throughout retirement, and it's no big deal. But the terrifying reality is that healthcare costs can easily exceed hundreds of thousands over the course of retirement. For a single person alone, healthcare costs average around $170,000. And for couples, it's closer to $400K. And if you retire before 65, right when Medicare kicks in, costs can spike even higher because you're relying on private insurance. The problem has nothing to do with people being careless. It's that healthcare is unpredictable and rarely explained clearly. And when one category of life consumes a third of your entire savings, everything else has to stretch even further. But healthcare isn't the only thing that changed. The entire retirement system got redesigned and not in your favor. The major shift? Pensions disappeared.
Retired from General Motors in 99. 2012, I went bankrupt and they took my pension away from me.
For those who don't know, a pension is a retirement plan where your employer puts money aside for you while you work. When you retire, they pay you a guaranteed amount every month for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live or how the stock market performs. In 1986, pensions were the norm, and there were over 172,000 pension plans in the United States. By 2021, only 46,000 remained. That's a 73% drop in just 35 years. Today, only 15% of private sector workers even have access to a pension. Your grandparents worked for one company their whole career, and when they retired, the company sent them a check every month for the rest of their lives. That was the deal. The company took on all the risk. But companies realized pensions were expensive and unpredictable. So starting in the 1980s, they shifted all the risk onto workers through 401ks. And here's the kicker. To get the same retirement outcome your parents got with a pension, a 401k requires that you save 32.3% of your paycheck, compared to the 16.5% that pensions required from employers. That responsibility shifted almost entirely onto workers through 401ks. To get the same retirement outcome, workers now need to contribute almost double what pensions used to require. And on top of that, nowadays people change jobs more often, wages haven't kept up with the cost of living, and even benefits are less predictable. And if you're wondering why everything feels more expensive than it used to, don't forget to watch our video on the cost of living crisis so you can understand exactly what's going on. So with pensions gone, many people assume Social Security will fill in the gaps. But here's the problem. Social Security is running out of money. The Social Security Administration is saying the Retirement Trust Fund is under increasing pressure and is expected to fall short by 2033. And when that happens, benefits won't disappear, but they will get cut by 23% across the board. You'll only receive 77% of what you were promised, whether you're already retired or are just starting to collect. So why is this happening? Simple math. In 1960, there were more than 5 workers paying into Social Security for every retiree. Today, less than 3 workers per retiree. By 2050, it'll drop below 2.5 worker per retiree. And right now, between 2024 and 2027, over 4.2 million Americans are turning 65 every single year. That's the largest retirement surge in US history. The system was never designed to handle this many people. Another factor quietly working against retirement savings is how much the workforce has changed. The average American now holds about 12 jobs over the course of their life. And yes, job changes can bring higher pay, but sometimes they come with a hidden cost. Each time someone switches jobs, retirement contributions sometimes pause, reset, or even drop, even when their salary goes up. For example, if you switch jobs, it may take 6 months before you get enrolled in a retirement plan, or before employee matching kicks in. So you're making more, but the contributions to your retirement actually goes down. And over decades, all those gaps add up. You see, the whole system is built for stability, and unfortunately, many modern careers are anything but stable. The whole retirement system was built for people who stayed at one company for 30 years. But that's not how careers work anymore. And the system hasn't caught up. For younger generations, the challenge is even tougher. Only 47% of Gen Z is contributing to retirement plans at all, compared to 76% of Gen X. Despite having the most time for compound interest to work in their favor, Gen Z is saving at less than half the rate. And why the massive change? Simply put, the cost of living crisis combined with student debt and the housing crisis make it hard for young adults to even be able to contribute to retirement accounts or savings. And the ones that do are either starting later and also saving less overall. So as a result, many Americans are working longer than they ever expected they would. Not because they want to, but because they have to. It's all part of the new unfortunate reality that no one signed up for. And this is why you have to plan for retirement now. But alas, there is good news, and that's the fact that you're not powerless. Despite how difficult it all may seem, even small steps matter more than most people realize. If I were starting today, these are the steps I would take to save for retirement. First, I'd watch our videos on money milestones you should be hitting in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, and how to hit them. Oh, and I'm starting the foolproof ways to save money in one of our next videos, so subscribe. The next crucial thing I do is to make sure I have retirement investment accounts. That way your money grows. If your employer offers a 401k, or even better, 401k with employer match, max that out. It's free money that your employer is giving you. Other retirement options are the IRA, Roth IRA, and SEP IRA, or if you're self-employed, or if your employer doesn't offer retirement accounts. Third, I would start now, even if it's just $100 a month. Here's why that matters. If you're 30 years old and invest $200 a month with a 7% average return, by age 65, you'll have over $500,000. Wait until you're 40 to start? You'll only have around $240,000. That 10-year delay costs you $250,000. Fourth, I would use a retirement calculator to figure out my actual retirement number. I've linked one in the description, and it takes about 2 minutes. You plug in what you spend per year, and it shows you what you need saved. The 4% rule says you can safely withdraw 4% annually. So if you need $100,000 a year in retirement, then you need $2.5 million saved. But also, I get it. Emergencies happen when you're not financially ready. Cars break down, medical bills come out of nowhere. No matter what, don't fall into the trap of a payday loan. It will only push you into a cycle of debt and put you further behind. Watch this video on the payday trap here. When you need cash fast, there are safer options like personal emergency loans from a trusted lender like CreditNinja. You can apply online and in some cases even get $5,000 the same day. It's also important to think about retirement with a flexible mindset. Perhaps you phase out of work slowly and keep certain income streams. There's no one way to do retirement. But maybe the most important thing to do is not do what the average American does. And that's because the average outcome simply isn't working anymore. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.